So, the Mighty Nein and tone. When I watched the very first episode of the Mighty Nein animated series when it was released on YouTube, I said that it feels like the tone is already more consistent than it was in Vox Machina. Now, I will one day make a much more in-depth, long-form video comparing the Mighty Nein and Vox Machina, and I will rewatch Vox Machina for that video. As of right now, I am going off my memory of Vox Machina, so keep that in mind. But Vox Machina has a tone problem, and it's especially present in the first season. Vox Machina has a lot of fart jokes. It likes to play gratuitous violence entirely for laughs, and then it likes to take itself very seriously 5 minutes later. It does this a lot, and it kind of grates on you. It's overall a good show, but this part of it is definitely something I have always had problems with. When I watched the first episode of The Mighty Nein, I could already tell that it was not doing that, and it was much more dedicated to keeping a consistent tone. And I said this, and I had some people say, it's only one episode, you can't really judge the entire tone of the show from one episode, which is true. And I had other people say, oh, just wait until Jester comes in. She'll really mess up the tone. Well, we now have almost all the episodes out, with the final episode coming out on Monday, and I think I can say with confidence, the tone of The Mighty Nein is much better than Vox Machina. And Jester does not mess it up at all. I think part of why Jester works very well is the Mighty Nein has a much darker tone than Vox Machina ever did. Now, I do think part of this is Campaign 2 is the darker campaign, but it also feels like they're more dedicated to creating a balanced story than trying to recreate the feel of a D&D campaign. Recreating the feel of a D&D campaign can work. The D&D movie, I think, proves this. But for an entire TV show, it kind of gets old. So Mighty Nein just doesn't attempt it. But it does keep Jester and all of her silliness. It keeps her fighting with a giant lollipop as her spiritual weapon. It keeps her summoning little bunny unicorn spirits to heal people. It keeps her drawing dicks everywhere. But the reason it works is this feels like a very deliberate choice by Jester the character against such a bleak, dark world. She is choosing to be silly and have fun in a world that otherwise would not allow it. It feels like her act of resistance. So it doesn't break up the tone, and honestly feels used as a bit of an oasis from the very somber atmosphere Mighty Nein can have. And it's helped by the fact that Jester does have moments of doubt where she's like, am I crazy? Am I just overly silly and childish? But then you see her decide, no, this is the way I am, this is the way I want to be. And I think it's very touching and works very well. Again, Vox Machina is a good show, but I'm fascinated by how much they have clearly learned between Vox Machina and The Mighty Nein. I think The Mighty Nein is way better. If you couldn't get into Vox Machina, I would definitely recommend still checking out The Mighty Nein.